Redress means that we're taking control of our government, that we're taking control of our lives and our future, that we are accepting the responsibility to make the decision for ourselves. That's what it means. And a part of those is, how do we survive that? And of course the answer to that is going to be world law. We have to replace enormous armies with our reality. And we have to use limited capitalism to define how it is that we're going to control those who would otherwise control us. Because with money, lots of money, they buy armies for themselves. And so we have to control how big an army they can do. And that means that we have to decide for ourselves what the limits of income are and what the limits of possession are. And we have to decide what the limits of banks are and everything else. And that means we have to actually, take control over our government by freezing everything in place. Nobody gets to buy or sell or any of that stuff. Nobody gets to foreclose or any of that stuff. Only if hate is involved can you make a decision to throw somebody out. But that doesn't mean you get to lose everything. That just means that you can't collect until we as a nation decide what our choices are going to be. How much can you possess? How much can you have, or how much power will you end up with? And make no mistake, there are people who worth to society way more than other people. Way more. And this is not a simple thing. But we have to do it to protect ourselves, to give ourselves any kind of authority over our lives. You can't just let people do whatever they want to do. And that doesn't mean that you control their lives. We're talking about how much control they have over society. And there is a big difference in the freedom of life or the freedom of society. We can choose the freedom of society. And we can protect the freedom of life. That's our choice. So anyway, the deal is that we have to provide for ourselves. Your leaders are not going to do it. Throughout all of history, power knows that you're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You have to make a decision for yourself. You have to stop being animals in a herd. You have to stop being a mob that's controlled by mass hypnosis. You have to understand the future is our choice. But the responsibility of what we have done is our reality, and the consequences of that is that we have to make decisions accordingly. So, limited capitalism gives us the authority to become a democracy again. You're not a democracy today in this USA. Communism has taken over. Communism pays for everything. Let the government pay. Let the government pay. That's just communism. There's no such thing as capitalism. Resources do not decide how much or how little you get, and everything else is just a mess, because that's what the communists of University is God does. They believe they alone get to decide. And of course, I believe that we get to decide instead. That's what democracy is. We get to decide. And the constitutional legal authority to do that is to take redress into our hands and make it happen. You got to have 1 million or more people demanding it. It has to be so. That's only 1 in every 344 people according to the current statistics. 1 in every 344 people. That's all it takes. Do you think you can do that? I mean, that includes babies and all, but they are people too, and your future is in their hands. We have to freeze the assets, and we have to freeze everything so that we can decide for ourselves, and that includes the universities. No, they cannot continue what they're doing. No. There are consequences. And we cannot just let them mutilate nature. We can't let them, try to create or burn atoms and create the sun here. We can't let them be in charge of our armies or anything else. We have to be in charge of our own lives. We have to include the world in that, because it's the entire world that's at risk of all the things that universities did do, and all the things that they are planning to do, and all the things that they're playing God with. So, your choice is to understand that this is not going to be for free. It's not going to be for free. You spent the last 50 years in this America saying everything is for free. That's what you did. Greed is God. Everything is for free. There are no consequences for us. And now our world and our nature and our future, our oceans, everything is a blight, a plague of human disease that you caused, that you participated in with, that you created through worshiping the university as your God. Take a look around and understand that our world has changed. Our world has changed. As we can now make our own selves extinct, courtesy of the university, but courtesy of humanity as well, because you couldn't control your population rise, and that alone is enough to cause our own extinction. Take a look around. Everything is being destroyed. Everything is being carefully cut away. We have to make better decisions than that. So when it comes to how much does someone own, what you have to decide is, and what you have to learn is, what you have to seek is, did they buy this with counterfeit money, or did they not? And of course, Wall Street is all counterfeit money. It really is. So, I don't know if it is still so, but 20 years ago you could buy $50 of play money for $1 of so-called real money. So, it's all a game. And we have to know what is